on this computer. Haha, good times. Evening.
Hello.
Hello. Howdy.
Hello, everybody. Last month because holidays, Christmas. I don't know. Is it still 2020? I'm kind of lost. But obviously this month, I thought it'd be a good idea for you this month, kind of touch base on what's been going on generally, and also start to have some thoughts towards what next year looks like now that it looks like we're over the hump of COVID and we can actually properly go out and do stuff potentially. And yeah, I thought it'd be an interesting discussion. So just run through what we've been up to, I guess. Training's an obvious one. Robin, I think.
Training. The second full course finished this week. Somebody remarked, so I can. It's on the chat, so I can copy it. Basically, out of I think it was 47 that attended the first session live, we ended up with 11. Is that a reflection of the course, or is that a reflection of me, or are people happy with where they were? I don't know. I don't think it matters. The fact is that the people who were on the course, I think they enjoyed it. I think they found it useful. Looking towards the future, foundation course due to start next week. There's 6 candidates booked on that. The intermediate due to start beginning of November. There's 26 booked. And the next full course due to start in the first week of January, there's 7 booked. So that's without advertising. We probably need to get the channels created for the foundation fairly quickly, I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, the schedule is full of training right up to the end of next year, with a full course FF5 finishing on the 19th of December for the Christmas break.
I'm going to put a little bit of advertising out for the intermediate from 26 with no adverts. is insane. But I'll put an advert out for that. Honestly, having spoken to the Bath guys, they said that they lost about 65-70% by the end of the course. So I'd say we're probably on par with them. The difference is that I would say ours is a lot of responsibility on the individual to earn their learning, whatever.
Own their learning.
Own their learning. Yes.
Yeah. I'm quite happy to accept that some people will find it very hard going and decide to go elsewhere for it, and that's fine. That's the whole course is the whole intention of writing this course right from the beginning was to get something that was almost a wham bam thank you ma'am course for people who are prepared, who are ready to put the work in and also ready to take the exam, because for people who haven't been in a learning environment for some considerable time, it's a very big step to start learning again.
Yeah, and that's very much it. It's a framework to focus people onto working through the material rather than hold their hands and teach them everything. That's all we were aiming for, I believe,
yeah.
with intermediate as well. Just a kind of framework and somewhere for people to ask each other questions.
And they end up with a vast amount of data to take away with them in the form of all the presentation decks and all the question decks and other stuff that we find on the way. That's all theirs. They own that now.
Not bad for a $5.
No.
Absolutely. Okay, well, that's pretty easy. Another one I'd like to do. So the next issue of Radcom will appear in as a club. I've been thinking what I can put on the website because I'm conscious the last entry on that was quite old, and kind of a reason for that, I would say, is probably because a lot of the material we produce in static pages now lives on the wiki. So I think the answer is I'll write an article in the next day or the next 2 days advertising that we have a wiki and explaining what you can find on it. And that can be the headline that people land on. And that seems like an obvious one. I think as we go into next year, there will be a lot more potentially static content that will be more interesting, because this year has very much been well, we could do that, but then false starts and no real know about what's going on with the world with COVID and everything. Got anything else going on at the moment? I've been a bit out of touch because I'm ramping up for, I've got a Japanese exam in December, so all my free time at the moment has been that, and obviously the intermediate course. So I've missed a bit of chat.
Well, we had our first London pub meet in Real.
Oh, awesome! How did I miss that?
There was 4 of us, but it was something. So we spent a few hours in the King's Cross pub. We chose that place because it's nice and central, so maybe a bit far from people like Hibby in Scotland, but yeah.
That'd be awesome. Oh,
so
I totally missed that. I don't know how I totally missed that.
What you mean is Hebe didn't make enough effort? Is that what you're saying?
I think he had an excuse, unfortunately. So
last weekend, I can't even remember what I was doing last weekend.
Oh, is that good?
Oh, there's that episode of South Park where one of them can't make it, so they have them on an iPad on like a little tricycle. So you probably do that next time. Just anyone who can't make it will bring along independent screens for.
You better get a whole pile of iPads in.
And obviously the online pub meet's still going on.
Yeah, I do note from the calendar that next week's got nothing on. First week.
Well, there is the pub meet next week.
There is a pub meet, but there's a gap in between. Yeah, but that's not a major problem.
I mean, worst comes to worst, we can always see if Mitchell's done his talk that he keeps threatening me with.
We still have these ad hoc full course, there could be an ad hoc call for like a revision or, formula bingo or something. I don't know what we're doing with this now.
Yeah.
I think the always the issue with those kind of things is that we don't know, is that people have to be ready. I get the wording. There has to be enough people wanting to do it at any one point, and unless they're part of a formal course or something, it's very hard to get enough people with a need at the same time. It's hard enough to get people to ask, never mind to get enough need in one place.
But if you look across all the channels, there's tons of stuff going on. There's people doing everything, and they're all working together and talking together. It's like a big club with lots and lots of little corners where people are doing things, and there's a buzz about the place. And it's great, I think.
So that's
actually
all.
Talking I'm going to go on to the opposite of the buzz. I'm basically going to sunset the open study group because it's not working.
That's fair enough.
We still have some activity on the wiki and things, which there was a Twitter feed where someone was posting some YouTube links, and we now have a big long list of YouTube channels and things on the wiki. So that's been built up. There was even a couple added yesterday. Also on the top of the wiki, we have now got a form for the wiki and the PBX. So people sign up, gets posted to an admin area, and one of us who've got access go and add them. And they don't have to sort of ask, and then we go, oh, can you PM us an email address? And it's sort of half of it's automated.
Awesome. Money.
Blimey.
We need to stop getting money.
You've been working hard, Francis. Well done. I think you're in for a commission this time.
No, we haven't quite got enough money for a Flex radio yet. So
we're getting there. We
Not far off.
Yeah, that's what money is. So 1872.35. Considering that we're going to get in calc, we're probably going to fill the rest of the intermediate course. And then we'll have the reservations for some full. So we're probably going to hit $2,000 before the end of the year.
Set up a remote controllable club rig, something like that.
So we can go about how much are iPads? Go and have that club.
Knowing nowadays, you probably still haven't got enough money for an iPad.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, go for the flex. Go for the flex.
So we still have two Zoom accounts. I'm gonna kill the when the accounts at OARC, which is the one that has an annual amount on it, comes up, I'll let that lapse and then put this account, the M0 UK one, onto an annual subscription. Because there's no point in having two. We had two to allow for crossover in training.
But it never really happened, did it?
It only happened a few times and we were on top of it. We've reorganized since.
Yeah.
So
Yes. And for any ad hoc stuff, it's you just avoid the training night. Wednesday seems to be the training night, so Wednesday the training night.
So yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that as part because I'll just do it as part of the training budget. So because it's an essential to have Zoom. So it won't need to go through anything. It'll just get done and get accounted for at the next annual meeting. As that was that. But yeah, we'll have £2,000. So I guess the question is, what do we want to do?
The Bowfangs idea still stands.
Well, you know, I mentioned about our real life pub meets.
Yeah.
Put it on a tab for the night.
We're not going to the
Extremely
ice
expensive.
hotel. We're not going to the ice hotel, Paul. No.
How much is a return from Scotland to King's Cross?
How much is a drone for Nathan?
Well, to be honest, they're doing a new service from Edinburgh, so it'd be like 30 quid return.
Yeah, there's a really cheap service, isn't there now? Yeah.
Well, it's not due to come in till mid-October, so.
But they don't have a first class, so it's just not worth going on.
I hope he's not going unless he's getting served.
Yeah, if someone else is paying for it, I'm not cheaping out. Come on, guys.
Why don't we just fly? Can you hold a meeting at Luton?
Yeah.
One other thing we normally we sometimes forget to do on these is the server overview, because I know we're heading towards 1,000 members, and I
Have you
reckon
got it?
by the end of the month we'll have done it.
Have I turned on share for everyone?
Um,
All can. There you go. Feel free to share whatever you, Paul.
Oh, I thought
Should
you were
do.
going to do it.
Should do now.
so we're over 500 members and have decent activity on the server. So why aren't we
yeah.
trying to apply for partnership?
Mm,
Have we already done that?
right, where's server insights? There we go.
Because
know.
that gives you full server boost for free. Which might be useful.
Wrong screen. There we go. Right, so let's have a look. It should be that one. Yeah, so server insights. Let me move that off for a minute. So, well, we 7 new members. I think this is this week.
Yeah.
So we're steadily getting new members. Most of them are using the invites. Vanity URL? I don't think that's actually us. Only a few leavers, so most
They'll
are
be us
staying around.
kicking them out when they don't register.
Yeah, it's probably that bloke who keeps kicking them out if they don't fully register. So.
Still doing it.
What we got? 158 visitors in the last week, so we're still getting the numbers up. What we got for monthly, so still fairly steady. Not much voice activity though.
It's amateur radio. No one likes to talk.
Yeah. Most channels, people viewed, notice board, Rubber Duck Pub, yeah. So, mostly from the UK there, desktops and mobiles. So. Yeah, so we're not doing too badly.
Ooh, retention. What's that one? How long have people been a member?
38% a month, 1 year, sorry.
Interesting.
Less
So
than 10% have been here a month.
So the partner program is something that we might want to consider because it gives you full, gives you complete service for free.
Okay, your server is eligible to apply metric-wise if the chart shows yes in passing to column of the most recent notice period. So it says no.
But it said yes for ages. Why is it not? Why for August to
changes.
September and October?
It changes depending on the latest metrics.
Well, it was going to go dead in summer, and then the next period, as we come out of the summer holidays, will go back to yes very quickly.
Well, can you show me the metrics about the channels again? That was an interesting one because I didn't notice what was it sorted.
Which one?
Yeah, what is it sorted by? Okay, readers. Okay. Chatters, can you sort it by chatters though?
Yeah, there you go. So obviously noun thing becomes
registration, antennas, and off topic. Okay. And then the messages?
Lounge, antennas. Yeah, RX captures.
Yeah, that'll be us.
That's why we made the channel. So
what's at the bottom? What's at the bottom? That would be interesting.
What's the
page 1 of 5?
Just
filter it the other way so you see the 0. Yeah,
filter it the other way.
Sort the other way.
Yeah, what doesn't get read?
Course registration.
Yeah, I know that. From the amount of direct messages I get, I know that.
Useful info is clearly not useful.
No.
Yeah. But RSGB news gets just left by the wayside.
What in terms of messages? So modlog bot, if you go onto an actual channel.
Yeah, because they'll all be all the automatic.
Code ideas is then jumps.
Yeah, but that's
go next page. Yeah.
Sharing links, PBX admin, yeah. Food pictures.
Oh no.
Food pictures going to get cold.
We're going to have to get posting.
The food pictures is not getting. Oh no.
Yeah.
We have to get that going.
Your course registration is down at 1, but if you look at the course channels, they're very active.
Yeah.
So course registration is just a static message, so it won't get anything.
No, it won't get anything.
It will be read. So.
I'm glad the
emergency zone is only 7, so that's quite good.
Fair enough.
I'm surprised that the radio equipment is not anywhere higher. I think it's probably maybe in the middle somewhere.
Yeah. It's sporadic though, isn't it? Radio equipment. There's bursts of activity in there.
Someone wants to buy
antennas is kind of every day. There's something going on.
Someone wants to buy FT817.
The thing that doesn't change.
They need to be told.
What was that?
So they once every 3 weeks someone wants an 817, but it's every day someone needs a dipole.
Yeah,
exactly. Flower pot dipole channel. That's what we need.
I thought the actual word was a dipole a day keeps the doctor away.
Only if it's end-fed, mate. Only if it's end-fed.
Dipole a day keeps the RX away. No, that doesn't work, does
it? Keeps the DX away.
I've got a blank piece of paper right next year written on here.
So
I think it's field days we need, and
yeah,
I almost had one sorted with half a dozen people, but the campsite pulled the plug on it. So I'll search around for some more. Hopefully I'll get around, probably not this year, but next spring and that I'll get around to some of the campsites that I've used in the past and have a chance to have a natter with the owners and maybe take a little antenna up with us and just stick it up and say, look, this is what we're going to do, you know.
Well, Robin, we might have a chat later on at a later date because, as I say, Sterling are wanting to reach out to other people. And technically it has grass, so you can camp, but also there is a nice room that we've used for beds before.
Right.
So that would be a possibility.
Is there a big beer fridge?
There is a full-size fridge and fridge freezer. There is a place to cook bacon, a lot of it. There's also a barbecue and a microwave, so you wouldn't be short-strawed. And there's a tea caddy and everything.
Is there Deliveroo locally so that we can get them to bring us beer when we can't drive to pick it up?
Unfortunately, no, because it's on an industrial estate, so it's in a plus.
Cancelled. Ignore it.
No, just bring a supply. It would be an issue. We've got a big enough fridge.
Bring a trailer.
Did they pull out the plug because the radio or because things?
Oh, the campsite.
Yeah,
the campsite. I went to see him, and he sort of agreed in principle, and what I think was he'd had a rethink, because if people saw lots of antennas going up one weekend and other activities going on, the site is principally a walker's site. It's right on the Roman wall, so people walk and then camp there and sort of pull up and camp. And I think he wants to keep it that way rather than doing other things. That's fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, and I found another site, but the problem is all that's on the site is a tap. So if you've got a caravan or a motorhome, it's ideal. It's right on the coast and there's a tap.
So you mean there's a counterpoise already? Very good.
Yeah, counterpoise is there. It's underground. No, it's a plastic pipe, mate. Won't work.
Oh no.
The other one would be Rallies. Just looking at screen share, just looking at the RSGB. They currently have a few. I don't think any of these are the big ones though.
Scotland, Glasgow does not have a venue at the moment, so there is nothing planned at all for 2022. Because I spoke to the guy in charge of the rally on Sunday.
What are the big? Where are the big ones normally?
So normally the big ones, obviously, you've got National Hamfest, which is a Newark, a beer classic.
This is how.
And then you've got the what's it called? Oh God, there's one beginning with A, and that's the Scottish one, but it's not massive because it's just obviously Scotland, and obviously the manufacturers don't come all the way up to us. So,
all the way from Japan, they don't.
Well, no, as in the sense of like your Martin Lynch's and all that refuse to come because it's Scotland.
The other big one down here is Kempton, but there's no update.
And then
2021 question mark.
The other one is NASA in Blackpool, but I don't know how big that was because I know it wasn't as big as it had been in the past a couple of years ago before, obviously, COVID. So I don't know how far that survived either.
I'm just going to go and get my coffee.
Pretty much would be it. Yeah, it's come under NASA.
I have no idea what NASA is. So I'm just
sorry. No.
NASA?
It's a radio rally. So NARSA radio rally.
NARSA.
Yeah.
Radio railway. How did that?
No, radio rally.
You know why I've typed that.
There you go. There you go. But I honestly have no idea what's happening with it. But they do have over 100 tables.
Where people actually are and whether there'd be enough. I think maybe because they're going to go ahead next year. I'm pretty sure of that. So it will just be probably be like February, March time. Have a look at which ones are going. Because that was in April, wasn't it? So that would be April 2021.
So what?
Yeah, but it didn't go ahead.
What are we wanting to do with a rally? Are we wanting to advertise our presence, or just meet up? I don't know.
Probably a bit from column A and a bit from column B.
Yeah.
Right. So a table and some banners and some flags and some badges and things like that.
Hoodies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And people to walk around. I don't know whether we'll have 2 minutes. I know that Hamfest is one we can do. And
definitely.
You can be certain that at Hamfest we could take a table, we could take some stuff, we could have a table, we could have some promotional material, and we could have some member sales where people can sell stuff. The member sale table, and we can have buddies for shopping. We can definitely do Hamfest. It's just whether there'd be anything else.
I think if you even have one in the, sorted, next year, that's still a more than zero,
I think Hamfest is the obvious one. It's the obvious one to go for.
Yeah.
So
I think it would be nice to do something like, if you could bag one in the spring, early summer, and then the Hamfest in September, that would be achievement.
Well, I think, unless there's one up. I think Blackpool was the early one, isn't it? Because Blackpool was normally
April every year, yeah. It was normally the first weekend of April.
But they haven't said all about it at this point.
Because I don't know, because they relied on a hotel and their function centre for everything. So whether that continues or not, because that hotel's been used as all sorts during COVID, so for numerous different things. So I don't know whether they'll be still doing it or not.
Fair enough.
Would be the short answer.
Definitely
I can try and get an
Hamfest,
update
I
on
think.
Kempton, see if that might happen.
Well, that's the other thing is if there are more local ones like Kempton, like Dunstable Downs, or like one up in Scotland.
Well, there's always, I was gonna say, there's always going to be Gala Shields from Meetup because that's going to go ahead regardless.
Yeah.
The only thing is that's more of a bring and buy sale. So I wouldn't say a stand, but certainly as a meetup point, it wouldn't be a
That's
bad
what I
thing.
mean. That's what I'm thinking. Just don't commit anything. I think Hamfest, the one that we can be sure that we want to sink money into is Hamfest.
Yeah.
That's the clear cut one. That's the obvious answer. And then anything else, a meetup, and if there's a lot of interest or a lot of people say, can we get a table or whatever, then that conversation can come out from the interest rather than planned for.
Yeah.
But I think Hamfest, we can just assume.
Because the other meetup one, so there's Loch Lomond is the other rally that's a meetup. So there's Loch Lomond, there's Gala Shields that are the meetup. The Glasgow, if it went ahead, but I know they're having issues finding a place to do it, basically in Glasgow. Because they lost their location, unfortunately.
Yeah, there was a lot of places lost locations in Glasgow because the council put the charges up. I know that we were the Secrets were affected, and 3 locations they used to use that they can't use anymore.
No, what ended up happening is the guy who was the ops guy for Braehead ran the rally at Glasgow. So he got carte use of the Braehead arena entrancey bit, like corridor bit. And the arena's been sold off to somebody else, so which means he's not in charge of it anymore. Which means he's lost his privileges.
I think that's probably part of it. The councils sold off or went or got their recreational areas under license to another company.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Going on to the world of training, obviously we've got a pretty substantial training program sorted out for next year. Before lockdown, I was asked to go to a STEM event on behalf of the RSGB to promote amateur radio to a number of colleges and universities at that event. And I can foresee, because I still work for a STEM company and because RSGB, we're still keen of promoting that coming again. And given that I'll have access to training facilities down here, which I know we could use for with multiple flags for like OARC and MCARs on it being local club, which I do training for as well. Do we want to be investing time into promoting the wider hobby?
I would say so, yeah, because at the end of the day, you could, especially the university lot, they don't have time necessarily to be at a club, but they would have time to be on a Discord server. And you're more likely to get them on this than you would anywhere else. So promoting it as a wider hobby and also saying, oh, right, you can't put antennas up at, the university, but you've got a Discord server with this going on, that going on, and say to them, there is the online SDRs you can listen to. There's, other things you could do radio related wise. And then when they've got, the odd free weekend that they can go somewhere, they can go to a radio club like MCARs, for example, or wherever they are locally.
Of course, the natural extension to that is have our own remote shack that could rent time on.
We've got a lot of money at the moment, and it seems like a good idea that like the Bafang idea could work, but I think having a remote shack would be.
You have enough money to maybe do a bit of it. I wouldn't say you have enough yet for a remote shack.
Sorry,
from experience from Sterling Club, I would say you don't have enough money to do everything yet.
What was the Balfang idea?
Well, wasn't there an idea to give everyone who joined the foundation course a free Balfang or something?
Yeah, but
that would eat you £1,000 in about 5 seconds, I think.
Yeah, that's the problem. We've got a lot of money, but we can spend it very quickly if we're not careful.
Yeah.
I'd be signing up for the foundation course then.
Yeah.
And I think
another thing,
possibly our own remote shack is is a thing for the future. But at the
I've
same
not seen
time,
anyone say it'd be nice. I've not heard anyone, apart from us lot, talking about it. I've not seen anyone saying it'd be really good if we could access one.
And actually having someone that has the location to put it in and then the time and ability to manage it on a regular basis is really challenging.
Well, Hibby lives on top of a hill.
I do, but I'd like to
noise
play with
floor
my
is
own
dead low.
radios.
That's the problem, is that not only do you need a location, but you ideally need a location where there's no amateurs.
Which is hard to get a hold of.
You need somebody with a second home or something that they can put antennas there for.
Yeah, we need to set a big signal ranch somewhere in the West Highlands.
Well, speaking of which, there may be something coming up in Scotland related to that, but I can't say any more than that because I've been told about that. But then
too much.
Yeah,
I mean, we could even potentially do it in. The thing is, we could get access to a remote shop. I'm certain. So I know of a few clubs which have financially stretched a bit. And they have remote shacks that not many people are using. And I'm sure we could have a word and we could arrange it so that we could make a facility to gain access to a remote shack. But I think the issue will be that we'll go ahead and do it. And then we'll turn around to people and say, do you want to play with a remote shack? And then it'll just be silence.
Or there'll be hundreds of people want to do it and say, well, by the way, it's going to cost you this. They're going to say, I'm not going to bother.
Oh, no, I don't think people will pay for it. I don't think people will pay for it. I don't know. I don't think people will be interested in operating it. It kind of takes half the hobby out of it.
Yeah, because if you're struggling yourself where you are and you make a better antenna, you've done a better job of being a radio amateur rather than. I suppose a remote track's a bit like using DMR for hotspot.
You can't put up antennas though. Like if you're in this like flat or rented flat with no access to the roof, then you can't put up an antenna very well. And
I went to the beach today with the noise floor.
Yeah, then you do the portable.
That's the problem. The problem is you're describing me, but I go out in the van and I stick a whip on.
Yeah, I guess.
I was sitting at a picnic table in the sunshine.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
I'm in the same situation. I have no antennas here at all. The only thing I have got is one of those little U-loop antennas, and that's just in the corner of my room, and that plugs into an SDR, and I can use that. But it's not satisfying or interesting just to listen. I might listen to some things, but it's not. I generally don't do it. So, if I want to use my radio, I tend to go outside in the car or go for a walk and do it that way.
This is my biggest antenna at the moment. That's it. Oh, which reminds me, I'm up in Dublin in December. I'm going to have to take a radio with me and use my call sign.
Are you in Dublin in December?
Yes,
Interesting.
December.
Yes.
2nd of December specifically.
Specifically the 2nd of December. I will.
Let me see.
No, I've got an exam, 12 till 3 at Dublin University. So I'm flying in the morning.
Which one?
Don't know. Well, I do, but I can tell you exactly what chair I'm in if you want to.
Not broadcasting on the internet.
I've started a Rallies page so people can just put links and things to Rallies.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Thursday.
I would certainly think cross-platform promotion of both MCON's OARC and all the rest of it, and the wider amateur radio thing would definitely be a worthwhile.
Yeah, I'm just trying to understand. So before online became a thing, I had a really cozy workflow, and that was no one in the country wanted to provide amateur radio except, well, nowhere in my area provided amateur radio exams unless you jump through 101 loops. So I made the principle that anyone who comes to MCAT, anyone who wants to sit an exam, member or not, wherever they're from, if we've got an exam on, you pay your money, you take your exam, best of luck to you. We're not here for a pass rate, we're not here for a pass mark, we're here to help. Then we have foundation courses and intermediate courses, and the whole point of the foundation courses was to bring people into the club. and to do that. And we had about a 1 in 10 draw retention rate from courses, and that was healthy, and that was like the flow, and that was the motivator. So that's why people came to us. That's how we retained people. And because of the scarcity of training and exams, that was the selling point for people to do it. And it's that I'm struggling to reproduce in a. So the facilities that I mentioned before the call are an obviously nice place, a good thing to pick on. And we could probably arrange it that people attended them and then they got to walk around the facilities afterwards, because there'd be things there that'd be interested in that kind of thing. But it's actually getting to a point where we have a classroom full of people. Now, I think foundation in a weekend is certainly achievable.
Oh, easily is why I did it.
Yeah. And I think doing foundation in a weekend with an exam at the end is probably an interesting enough weekend for someone to be happy enough to commit that.
Also doing in the weekend means you can drive down and then camp it out if you are far away.
Or do whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it looks like there is a clear enough path there's a clear enough product. It's just how you get the customers. That's the bit I don't know what it looks like.
Yeah, the other side of it is that for foundation, it's not a huge step from knowing nothing at all about anything to gaining an exam pass, and a few diligent reads of the manual should be enough to pass anyway.
Yeah.
There's no requirement for a practical aspect at all, and nor will there ever be, because they're knocked that on the head, despite what the tutors group says. Is the weekend 0 to foundation a thing you can do? I can see the attraction for kids, for the youth to do, but for adults who can self-discipline and pick up a book and say, well, I'm going to learn this and I'm going to give myself a fortnight to read the books and watch a few videos, they can pass the exam. The exam comes to them. Although there is some people where the exam doesn't come to them in that they can't or won't use a computer.
But I
think clubs could cater for them.
Yeah. I think that there is a thing for people who learn differently in a classroom environment.
Yeah.
More being taught. So I think it's still needed. But what I would suggest, instead of say back in the day you'd run maybe once a month, I'd say maybe once a year or every 6 months. I would run maybe 2 a year.
So yeah, I know what you mean, and exactly where you're coming from. The thing is, if you've got some people who, everyone learns differently. We all know this. Everyone learns differently. Some people will happily sit with a book. Some people will happily skim the book and YOLO it. Others will want to revise it to death. Other people need someone to work through it with them, to demonstrate it and all that kind of stuff. And the classroom works well for them. But I don't think the foundation is actually complicated enough to be a barrier for those who learn from seeing things. I think the intermediate is, but I don't think the foundation is a barrier for them to get to entry for everyone. It would, but I think Robin's right. I think it has to be a pre-established group.
Yeah, so that we have up here one of the coordinators for the local Red Cross group who's been gently asking about the possibility of weekend courses for some of their volunteers.
Yeah.
And it's groups like that might be more interested than just random adults from a local area.
Yeah.
Or even a cadet group could be a way to do it, or a scout group.
Yeah,
4x4 drivers.
And especially now with the new online RSGB booking system for clubs, it's actually better because the club doesn't have to take the money anymore. You can literally say, well, I know, but what I'm saying is you can say to the RSGB, there's 2 ways they can book it. They can either book it to say that the club will pay for it, or they book it where they give all the email addresses of all the candidates and say, right, the RSGB send out all the emails, so the candidate pays direct to the RSGB and it skips the club entirely.
Yeah.
So then there's no money that way.
I used to make everyone pay directly and give me the receipt number. because I didn't want to faff around with collecting money and piddling around like that. So I used to do what they do now anyway. But no, you're right. But potentially what we could do is have the training course, and we wouldn't even have to, for this particular venue, and I'm sure we could do it with our partner clubs around the place. We wouldn't even have to register as an exam venue for OARC. We could register, we could use the location that I've got down here. People could prepay for their exam with the RSGB and then come along to the course. Or they could prepay for the exam if they want to sit it at the end and then come along to the course.
It wouldn't matter anyway, Francis. You being a DR, you can authorize a venue anyway.
Fair enough.
So could I. We could both authorize a venue.
And then do the exam.
Yeah. Well, no, we couldn't do we couldn't do that. We couldn't do the training bit. We could do the invigilation and authorization of an actual building, but we couldn't do the training side of it.
Yeah. Which reminds me, I'll need to get that authorization done for a venue. So I guess
just drag them from next door.
Yeah.
You can go authorize it now.
But there's some work, there's some work to be done even to identify the groups of interest.
That's what I mean.
And then this is the hard bit. And then if you identify the groups of interest, then engage with them, send them a postcard or something going like, hey, we're doing this,
Well, at the end of the day, groups of interest are going to want you to come to them because they've got their own meeting place.
That's true. Yeah.
The problem is you couldn't do the exam set though.
But also if you've got it's almost like this is why venue is important, because what I could do is, again, without being specific, but you should be able to guess what it is. There is a very prominent radio building that's visited by the public there, where they get visited by groups from all over the country all the time.
Crystal Palace.
And they get questions about exams and trainings and stuff. And we could certainly get OARC and MCAR's merchandise available for them to hand out to interested groups.
That's a start, isn't it?
Yeah. We definitely do that.
Yeah, because the OARC stuff is, there's a QR code. It takes you to
we'll confirm it later.
Yeah.
We will not confirm or deny that is happening.
Something else I forgot to mention earlier is we haven't had anyone using or asking to use the club call sign for a few months.
That's all right.
I think just people have been busy, haven't they, over the summer?
This is a reminder, if people are watching, especially the video later,
yeah, it's
drop me or Francis, or preferably both of us, a message.
Yeah,
and there's nothing stopping as well, as I say, like I've now finally got my lot to kind of encouraging going outward and saying, because we did a calculation the other day, and in reality, Stirling Club is used 5% of the time it's available. That is literally how little it's used. So say OIRC have a group that's in Scotland, for example, and and need facilities, then come and knock in, because I wouldn't say that I'd be surprised if my lot said no.
I don't think we got enough to even make a donation though. That's the only.
I was going to say what we could always do, because obviously we could say, I could print off this promotional. So this is something we could do that'd be no effort, and we could just see if something comes from it. Well, I could print off, or I could organize some flyers, and there's 2 sets of group training. There's one that's focused in Milton Keynes at the venue, and it's in partnership between the 2 clubs. Or if they want if they've got interest in training further afield, then we have online.
Yeah.
Or, which is what we do, and they can just do their exam online with the RSGB at the end.
Yeah.
And then when we're talking to them, it might be that there's someone locally or something locally or whatever.
Yeah. Or you could literally saying, right, okay, there's the venue there at Milton Keynes. There's a venue in the centre of Scotland. There's a venue here. Like a partnership like that, if you wanted to officially talk in that sense, I don't see my lot being not for it. Obviously, I'm not part of the committee, so I can't say yes or no. But I know they're looking outwardly to be, hub for multiple people to help multiple clubs across the way. So, you know, as of that, I don't see why that wouldn't be an issue either as well.
I mean, there's nothing stopping us also saying to people if they ring and they say, oh, someone gets in touch and says, yeah, we're based in, I don't know, Hartlepool. There's nothing stopping us approaching the local club and saying, they've got a group here, they're interested in training. We're happy to provide it remotely online, but we're keen to support local clubs as well. Have you got any interest? And saying to them as well, if you'd like, we can approach the local club, or we can do blah, blah, blah. Okay.
And what you could say is, you know, we could either do it online or we could do it at your club, or say for the foundation thing, over a weekend, and, you know, one of the club members locally who can provide the training, or say there is a local OARC member who can get there, who can provide the training, you know, provides it for that weekend, and that's it.
There's another committee night here locally on Monday. We officially become part of that site on Monday. So the guys who run the venue that has the radio link in are there as well. So I'll have some initial talks, and then in principle, if people are happy with it, we can spend a few pennies getting some cross-promotional material done. I think it's reasonable for us to pay for the promotional material, considering that the venue would be being provided by the other club potentially. And we're talking 15 quid for 100 flyers or whatever it is. You know, we're not.
I was going to say, and even one of them back banners, you know, the ones that slide up and down, they're only 27 quid on that.
Yeah, we're talking pennies. Okay, so that's something I will definitely do on Monday.
The thing we did years ago with a ham test, that website, which doesn't exist really anymore, we got a load of cards from Moo, and the great thing about it is each card, like what are they, sort of like mini business cards, could have a different picture on them, so you could have 50 different images, so we could have different facets of the club and things on them. Just a thought.
Yeah,
well, they're like half-height business cards, aren't they?
Oh, they were great to hand out. People go, oh, that's really cool. So the back would have the same on it, and the front, you could have people find different photos. We could have some from Simon and his satellite stuff, and, you know, different radio setups.
Well, so I suspect it won't be
obviously not straight away, but at a later time we could organise something like that.
I suspect it won't be a straightforward yes/no answer, but because they'll have to check with everyone whether they're happy that we're doing that.
Did we get any cards back from people that we sent the cards to?
We haven't done them yet.
That'll be why.
I've still got to send my my envelopes off to the GB manager as well.
I got a dump of cards this week.
See, so did I. I got Zambia actually.
Do you think this one guy is giving me a hint that I might have to return?
Actually, Hibby, have you got the same manager?
No.
Mrs. B. Bates.
No, it's not.
No, because Scotland call signs have separate managers.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I did get
Mr. Roberts in
Edinburgh. What's it called? I haven't opened it yet. I assume it's the logbook, the book of call signs.
Oh yeah, 2022. Yeah, that literally came from my door yesterday.
Yeah, I got that for the.
Oh, is that a good read?
It's kind of.
Put it this way, it's a good book to kill people with.
Oh, Hibby, it was someone in Gibraltar who did it. Oh.
Where the water don't taste like a otter.
Yeah, but now I got that today. I got that. That came through to that's the club's property.
So, hopefully you got the reference that I was referring to Z call signs.
Won't you get two, Francis?
No.
Because all DRs get one.
Oh yeah, no, I will do. Well, that's good. Fuel crisis won't be a problem.
No need for a new computer, screen stand,
Because that's how I got mine. It was nothing to do with the club. It was because of NPR.
No, mine was the club one. First time first. So,
Fair enough.
Yeah, I've got that to look forward to. Why isn't this charging? I hate iPhones.
Normally they have little fluff in the thingy. You have to turn it off and use a paperclip to take the fluff
Did
out
you
of
turn it
the
off and on again?
hole.
No, I normally throw it around, but I need it at the moment.
Or you've got a non-Apple lead and it's complaining about it.
Yeah, that's what it is, because it's definitely not an Apple lead.
Oh, can I just say, I'm so glad the new iPads have got USB-C on them.
I can't wait. I can't wait till iPhone goes to USB-C when the European Union makes them do it.
There's an easy answer. Just get Android.
Oh, I have Android, but
It doesn't
has
solve the
iPhone.
having an iPhone issue though.
Yeah.
USB-C everything.
Yeah.
It is the future. Until I realised that USB-C doesn't make it USB 3.0 by default.
Oh,
No.
by the way, I highly recommend these power bricks as charging stations.
Oh, is that the Pine?
The Pine
one?
64
Yeah.
one. It's USB-C socket. Can do 65 watts.
See, you're not using the wireless on top.
Yeah.
Is your Baofeng wirelessly challenging? Charging?
My phone's on.
Oh, right. Look, it looked like the Baofeng was sat on top of it.
Wirelessly challenging. Yeah.
But I didn't realise my phone could actually do fast wireless charging because the two wireless chargers I've got in this room beforehand were just normal. They weren't fast charging, although it was overnight anyway. But yeah,
So
definitely recommend it.
What's coming up next month? So we've got the foundation course will have run by next month. The intermediate course will have started. I'll have done advertising for that. And we'll have some news on what training looks like for next year. And we'll obviously have.
We'll probably have some details about a Christmas London pub meet.
No, that makes sense.
But it might be just it might be close to December. It may not be in December. That's right.
Fair enough. And there's lots of people talking, and that's all that really matters, to be honest. People are talking and stuff, useful stuff's happening.
And then we need to get together, Francis, to sort out funding the QSL card so I can upload the logs.
Yeah, just tell me where you need money sent, and I'll make money go there. Preferably if it can go.
I was thinking if we use the same login and do it on the website.
Do they take PayPal payments?
I think so.
Yeah, if they take PayPal, I can either send you the money or I can.
Yeah, it was kind of annoying, but it was kind of a nice thing as well. I actually got one of my cards back because they weren't a member, but that's what the back will look like. So
okay,
that's
with
cool.
With the
QR code
sign of that, Google call sign.
Yeah,
I've got my ones.
awesome.
Although they're a bit big actually. I went for the Vistaprint postcard size, so they're just slightly too large.
And this is the guy that's about a mile away from me that we've basically had a QSO on every band we can think of.
I think we're in a good place, unless anyone's got anything more that we need to say on the air for people who are watching.
I think we've covered everything, to be honest, for now.
Yeah. Other than subscribe, leave a comment.
thumbs up.
Yeah.
Tell other amateurs about us or CB users, PMI users. They want to come and do radio.
Make transmissions about the online.
We don't judge about other radio uses.
We're not bandist.
No.
Bandist.
We're band positive. We're band positive.
Band positive.
Yeah, I'm CB curious, so
even SWL listeners are welcome.
Oh yes.
Go on then. Bye bye.